Hello and welcome. And this is Brooklyn Dave once again with my reading glasses on because I need them when we study Episode 2 of my Philosophy of Attack series, Brooklyn Dave's Philosophy of Attack, or Secrets of Davitation if you prefer. It's all just for fun. So we're going to build upon the last video. So if you haven't seen Episode 1 of the Philosophy of Attack or Secrets of Davitation, you should go back and watch that. It's entitled The Greek Gift. Now, I don't have a title on this episode because I don't want to give away the game, as you'll see why. So I'm going to give you a position to look at. We're going to add some elements that we didn't cover in the first episode. So once again, you should watch the first episode, but this should be able to be a standalone learning experience anyway because it incorporates elements of the first. That's my intention, is to build upon each one. In this one, we have a position here already set up. White has just played Knight H5. Okay? Here. Remember in the first episode, we talked about the king position and breaking down the king position and how this knight here is the best defender. And in this case, he has this here. And we don't have E5, but we have a bishop on E5. And there's some other pieces around. You'll notice that he has a battery. And he's threatening to do this. And he wouldn't be threatening mate right now, but if the queen wanders away, he's kind of lurking there with a threat right here, right? But it's not there yet. So white just played here. Now, one of the things we talk about is not wasting moves, and if you're attacking, you don't necessarily want to trade off pieces. You want to keep it complex. You want to keep as many pieces on the board as possible so you have more attacking chances. And a lot of times, it's the defender who has to try and trade off pieces. In this particular case, there's a reason he's playing this knight here, and that is to trade off this knight, which is the good defender of the king. Black takes the knight. Okay, so here we go. It's white to move. What is the move here? So pause the video and see if not only can you guess the first series of moves, but the entire idea of it. See how far you can look. This is a situation when it was Lasker, Emmanuel Lasker in 1889 that played this game, and I'll tell you more about it later. But when he played the white knight here and to trade off this knight, he did it for a reason, okay? And he saw all this that's about to happen. So pause the video, take a look, and when you come back, I'm not going to pause because I'm assuming you are pausing if you want to study the position. Because, of course, most of you have guessed what the move is, and that is the Greek gift. Bishop takes H7, check. Okay, now let's talk about something now. Because the king takes back, okay, in this particular case, right? What if the king goes here? This is something I wanted to study anyway. What happens when the Greek gift is turned down? Well, it's a disaster immediately. So what does black do now? Okay? When you have this position, unless there's somebody to come to help right now, like if there was another knight that could come in here, even if there was a knight, the bishop would just take it and you'd be back in the same position. So I just want to teach you one sequence. Well, first of all, I'm threatening to move this here, and, the king moves here, and then this is mate. So this is something to know, right, when you get this kind of position, right? We got this bishop here lurking too. But the important thing to know, this doesn't help, right? I would just play bishop take pawn. Not taking the bishop doesn't work, which is basically the main point, okay? So the king took the bishop. Now we check. King goes here. In this position, pause the video again. And you might have looked at this whole sequence from the first pause. There are a lot of elements here. So we did the Greek gift. We did bishop takes H7, check. We brought the queen over there to H5. What is the next move for white now? Pause the video. See if you can guess. You can even pause it and write down the sequence you think in the variations. This is how you learn to calculate. And this is the kind of time you do calculate, even in a 5-minute game. Obviously, if you have 88 seconds left, you're not going to do this. But if you notice, there wasn't a lot of pieces traded off, and most of the pawns were all there. This was still rather early in the game. And here's a grandmaster just crushing his opponent in style. So pause the video, because I'm not going to pause. I'm going to keep going. Did you do your homework and take a look? Okay, so I bet you a lot of you thought a rook lift, and that is one of the elements of this, is the rook lift. Okay, that's another element of attacking the castle king is a rook lift, and it could be any rook. If this pawn wasn't here, and if this pawns were in here, you might be able to lift this rook up here and swing it across. The rook lift means that you bring a rook usually to the third, and it's ready to swing over and attack the king in some way, right? Okay, so pause it. Is that the move? Rook f3? Is this the next move? Last chance. Okay. No, it's not. No, Emanuel Lasker wants to totally wipe out his opponent. So this is another common theme. It's called the double bishop sack. Bishop takes pawn, g7. Bishop takes g7. Wow. Why does he do that? Because he's clearing all the pawns around the king. He's leaving the king naked. He traded off the knight. Now he's trading both the pawns off. I'm threatening mate right now. You can't ignore this. So he has to take it. There's nothing else to be done. Otherwise, I'm going to just mate him. So he takes it. Pause the video again. What do you suppose we do now? Did you say rook lift? No. Although it would probably work. But Lasker checks first, which is going to force him to the H file. Because if he goes here, this is mate right now. That would be mate. Haha. So he goes here. And now the rook lift. And this, dear folks, is the end of the road, man. Now he can panic. That's what he does. I mean, there's nothing to be done here, right? This is more accurate than just lifting the rook. This check with the queen first was actually more accurate. And there's no escape. You can look at all different things. I mean, the only escape is to sack the queen, which he does. Sacks the queen. So the queen can swing over, because now here comes the check, which would be mate. Queen swings over. Check. King takes. And the queen goes down here for brutality. Oh, he's not getting mated right away. No, but he's winning another bishop. And this party's over. This party is over, gang. So, there you have it. So this was a very interesting, even though short, very instructive game. It's Emanuel Lasker versus, what was his name? Lasker versus Bauer. Forgive me. There we go. Mike Court. I hope you enjoy this. We're going to build upon this too. And I'm going to do different videos hitting upon these attacking themes. But we saw a lot of pieces aimed at the king. It's my cord, and I might need a new one. So I'm going to cut it short now. But we saw a lot of things. I will hit this in the third episode, next attack video from Brooklyn Dave. Signing off. Don't get Daved.